Hello, folks, and welcome to Club Passim in the Alston branch of Passim currently. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've got a great show up ahead for you. But before we get there, I just want to talk a little bit about Passim and what we have been doing and who we are. So we have been a music venue in Harvard Square for over 60 years, and we've been a nonprofit for over 25 years now. And that's because of you. It's because you guys come out and see us, and you support us, and you want to support our artists as well. Since March, we have been shut down, as most of the world has been. And since then, we've been bringing you streaming shows online. So that's why I'm in my bedroom and you're probably in your living room. And our artist tonight is also at home. So it's been strange, but we are making the best of the weird situation that everyone is in this year. So I just really want to thank you for continuing to support Passim, for continuing to support artists, and for coming out to shows like this, whether you're watching it live or watching it later. In addition to bringing you streaming shows most nights of the week, Passim also has a school of music that we have moved online. So if you're interested in classes or workshops, if you are or aspire to be a musician yourself, you can go to passim.org and check out our School of Music. Our new semester is starting very soon, and we've got, in addition to all of our usual classes like guitar, different levels of guitar, vocal ensembles, harmony singing, private lessons. I think we have a couple new ones this semester, like beginning piano, and a class with Avi Soloway of the songs of Tom Waits. So kind of anything that you're interested in, we have. So if you're interested, please go to passim.org and see all that. During the summer, during the shutdown, we've also been running a new grant program through Club Passim called the Passim Emergency Artist Relief Fund. And that has given out over $140,000 in disaster relief to Passim artists, and all of that money, all of those funds have come in from you, and gone directly back out to artists in our community. So it's really because of you that we are able to continue to do these shows and continue to pay our artists a living wage so that they are able to continue to make their art. And that grant is just one part of it. So thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to see everything that we're doing, you can go to passim.org. Specifically, passim.org/stream is going to have all of our live streams. We have everything up there for the next month or so. A couple exciting things that are coming up. We have Ruby Mack in the club, doing Audienceless Club this Friday. And we've just announced our lineup for Peter Mulvey's Lamplighter sessions for the last week of October. I know that's a fan favorite every year. So you can go to passim.org and see all the details for all of our shows that are coming up. And while you're there, you can also make a donation. We're suggesting tonight that you give a $15 donation as your ticket for watching the stream tonight. This is the only way that we are making money during this time, and the only way that artists have to make money, doing live streams, having Patreons, selling merch. So while we appreciate your eyes, we also appreciate your dollars. And we're going to pass that along to Jenner tonight, who is our artist. We're super psyched to be able to have Jenner on for a whole set. He was part of our Campfire Festival over Labor Day weekend in a round, and we got just a few songs from him then. So it's so great to have him back for a full set. And one of the silver linings of all of this shutdown and lack of travel is that we have been able to bring in artists from all over the country and all over the world that we wouldn't normally be able to. For instance, Jenner is in Oregon, and normally it would be a bit of a hardship to get all the way out to the East Coast and do a tour. But because we're all in our living rooms right now, we're able to bring you great music from all over the place. So settle in, and I hope you enjoy Jenner Fox.
Thanks, Abby. It's an honor to be playing Passim virtual. lit out from Texas, across the ancient ocean floor, wearing down the lanes, stamped like footprints on the shore. It's easier to stay if you know what you're staying for. Passing tumbleweed and cottonseed, another mega store. Whoa, New Mexico, we're climbing again. The best license plate of any state, a road that finally bends. Flagstaff, the blistered pass, Kingman, then descend to the lost Colorado, walking slowly like a friend. And lately, I've been thinking of all the time that I waste thinking I'm just happy to be on the road again. And there's nothing like direction to soften the connection. I'm just happy to be on the road again. The state where I was born, the hills of California, semis and endless skies, the desert's lonesome form. Eyes are closing, Mojave's frozen, I'm wishing I was warm. The roadside sleep turns tireless, my dear California. I look right to see the miles of fruit trees whipping by in perfect, dizzying geometry. The tears are all but falling, my hometown is softly calling. I've never wanted anything more than to pee. And I just can't wait to get there. No, I just can't wait to get there. Oh yeah, everything's gonna be better. I just can't wait to get there. Well, I'm painfully aware that I'm a brush of a hair away from dying at the slip of a wheel. And it's maddening and taxing as I turn up my distractions to know that slipping is just part of the deal. And lately I've been thinking of all the time that I waste thinking I'm just happy to be on the road again. And there's nothing like direction to soften the connection. I'm just happy to be on the road again. All right, thank you for tuning in. I just learned today that my mom and dad met at, or they didn't meet at Club Passim, but they had their first date at Club Passim. I also learned when I posted about playing a show in Boston that it's actually in Cambridge. So thanks to my Aunt Joan for letting me know. In honor of the parents' first date thing, I'm gonna play a song about wanting someone you can't have and calling her Francine because it rhymes with what you want to say. Why don't you ask me how I'm doing when we're alone? Why don't you ask me how I'm doing when we're alone? It's not the question in specific, it's just the fact that you won't ask you to talk on what is wrong until it's right. We would sing the same 3 songs every night. We would sing the same 3 songs and be alright. Yeah, the songs would stay the same, but the walls on which they hang would peculiar like the sound of a name. Francine, I ain't asking you for much, just your name and when it rains that you look up. I could call you Caroline and pretend that you were mine, but I'm obscene with you, Francine. I wanna be seen with you, Francine. Was the elephant also standing in your room when I lay awake in the bunk bed over you? I couldn't figure what to call him. 4 letters seemed too solid for something huge and gray I never learned to do. Francine, I ain't asking you for much, just your name and when it rains that you look up. I could call you Natalie, but that's too close to home, you see, 'cause I'm obscene with you, Francine. I wanna be seen with you, Francine. When we're walking home and your feet begin to slow in the April cold, where my mind and time will go. 3 blocks from home, I swear I heard you blow a whisper that got lost in streetlight snow, answering, Francine, I ain't asking you for much, just your name and when it rains that you look up. I could call you Emily, but mine you'll never be, 'cause I'm obscene for you, Francine. I wanna be seen with you, Francine. Thank you. I can feel you. Thanks for putting the comments in the comment chat. It's great to pop the bubble of just feeling like you're playing in your room to your computer. So I appreciate that. Let me know if you guys have any requests. Speaking of which, I would honor a pre-show request from my friend Michael, who said in the honor of the English Premier League being so good this season, he'd like me to play this song. And I voted today. It was a great feeling. Put my envelope in the ballot box here in Sisters, Oregon, and I was thinking that the last time I voted for president, I was living in Austin, Texas. Part of me still wishes I was still living there for this election. But when I was living in Austin, I decided to join a men's league soccer team, and my impression of that sort of thing before was that, you know, the adult league sports are sort of a for fun thing, a drinking league type thing. And I joined this team called the Celtic Cowboys, who are mostly first and second generation English and Irish lads, and they were very fun in the bars and very mean to the referees. And the captain of the team was this guy named Martin, and Martin took it very seriously, and he would give impassioned halftime speeches in every game, and he'd encourage us to run sprints on our own. And the thing about Martin was that he wasn't very good. And this song is for Martin and all of us who do the things we love regardless of ability. It's called The Beautiful Game. the ball with me. One more time, kick the ball, Daddy. Kick the ball with me. One more time, kick the ball, Daddy. Martin was born in England with 2 left feet, the son of Irish immigrants. And he'd get up early to watch the weekend games. With bruised shins he'd come home late. And his dad would say, "Martin, do your work and put that bloody football away." But he'd sneak out to the stadium and he'd stare up at the lights and hear them chanting his name in the beautiful game. In the beautiful game. So he grew up fast and he bought a one-way ticket across the Atlantic to Michigan for the promise of football and an education away from nails and hammering. But he found snow instead of grass, and weightlifting, and the wrong football on TV. So he took his degree, and he moved down to Texas to coach a high school soccer team in the beautiful game. In the beautiful game. That's where I met him. He was well into balding, and we were on the same men's league team. And he'd give a halftime speech every Sunday to us half listening. And it sounded like, give it all you got, give it everything, 'cause this is everything to me. And no other team got a halftime speech, and I believed him. And I can still hear him say, the beautiful game. The beautiful game. And his dad would say, find something else to do. Maybe football is not the thing for you. But he kept coming back to that 4-4-2. Like Sean Wright Phillips and David Beckham and Rio Ferdinand and the bungee jumping cows band and Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard and Sir Bobby Charlton and the beautiful game and the beautiful game. And after the cheers and the handshakes and the beers, Martin remains. And he sits with his back to the goalpost, looking almost like he's always sat that way. And he strikes a match, and he lets his hand down to feel the grass beneath. And he lingers as he runs his fingers through the dirt and the dreams. Kick the ball with me one more time. Kick the ball, Daddy. Kick the ball with me one more time. Kick the ball, Daddy. Thank you guys. Thanks for chatting up. I must admit that in the dangerous moments of eye opening during the set, when I look at the chat, I tend to lose my place in the song. But it's good practice. It's sort of it's making sure that you have them memorized down pat. So don't stop chatting. I received a great honor today. And I was notified that my song Peanut Butter was going to air for a second straight semester on the San Francisco school district preschool TV show. Sometimes these things happen when you write songs and they go off and they make it to the big time. So thank you to SFUSD for piping my song Peanut Butter out to all the preschoolers. I think we should play it in celebration. It goes like this. There's nothing better than peanut butter on a spoon or in spaghetti. Nothing I wouldn't rudder. Smother in peanut butter. Oh, don't you let them fool you. The only ingredient in peanut butter is the peanut. Yeah. And a little bit of salt, yeah. A little bit of salt sometimes. There's nothing better than peanut butter on the moon or up in heaven. Nothing I wouldn't try with a jar nearby. Don't worry if your mouth gets stuck closed. That's why they invented the nose. Yeah. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. Alright, we're going to do a little call and response over the computer screen. Here we go. You guys ready? Repeat after me. We're singing gooey, 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 goo, yeah. Oh yeah, I can feel you. We're singing gooey, 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 goo, yeah. Just like the preschoolers sang. We're singing gooey, 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 goo, yeah. We're singing gooey, 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 goo, yeah. All right. Speaking of reasons to celebrate, let's see how this is going to work. The old harmonica over the headphones. It's October. It's late October. And I was just thinking, reminiscing. I found an old license plate in sort of cleaning out a closet recently, and found an old New Mexico license plate, which, if you remember from the first song I sang, are my favorite of the license plate series we have here. And this was a special license plate, and it came from a car that a few friends and I drove from the Grand Canyon over to Taos, New Mexico, and it was around this time, I think, sort of 5-6 years ago, and also coincided with when I began playing shows out and making records, and sort of deciding to do it professionally. Anyway, this license plate belonged to a Subaru Outback that started in the Grand Canyon, and it was a stick shift, and only one guy in the car knew how to drive stick shift, and so we were all sort of learning on the road, and kind of doing a national parks loop, and destroying the clutch, and on one day we were kind of exiting Utah, coming into Durango, making our way to the final leg to Taos, and our car kept overheating, and so we'd stop and pour some water in the coolant. We were all very adept mechanics, and wait till it to cool down, drive a little more, and started to get a little worried. We weren't really in any service, and so we would keep going like that, looking to try and find if we could find someone to help us. And eventually, sort of as dusk was arriving, we found this sort of diner that was closed but had a payphone outside of it, and next to it had this thing that said Game Center and kind of fluorescent lights. And we stopped at the payphone, and of course it didn't work, so we wandered over to the Game Center and walked inside, and it was sort of dimly lit, and there was this deer carcass hanging from the ceiling, and this gaunt sort of man next to it with a knife carving it up. And after getting over the horror film moment that felt like, we said, "Hey man, any chance our car's having some trouble, any chance we could use your phone or something?" And he said, "Well, just hold on a second. My name's Ram, and I'm a mechanic, and I might be able to look at it, but I'm just carving up this deer first, and so let me get back to you." So we hung out with him as he carved up the deer. It turns out it was roadkill. He collects roadkill and kind of gives it to people in need in his community. So we finished carving it up, and took us out to his mobile mechanic rig and kind of flushed the system and turned a bunch of things and climbed under, and sure enough managed to fix the car. And he said, this man Ram, who drove a Dodge Ram and was all things Ram, he said, "Go on your way, but be careful because it's roadkill season." And we got a few hours down the road, and I fell asleep in the back seat, and a porcupine ran in front of the road, and we got spooked, and the person in the passenger seat got spooked thinking it was a deer. I said, "Deer," and we swerved and rolled off the side of the road, and I woke up to the sensation of rolling, and we landed upright, and nothing but the humans were in the car because we had seatbelts on, all our phones, everything was splayed all out over the kind of hill, and we all made it, and feels very lucky. And this tune is sort of hard to think about processing it and writing about that for a while, and this tune sort of all came out the night or two before I recorded my first record, and this ended up making it on it. It's called Taos, New Mexico. Place you fill, dream or memory, fondly, words of mouth, the road to Taos from the window. When I let go, the night spoke, silver eyes in the dark, or just the blue glow of your cell phone. Alone, with our shoes soaking wet, the place you fill, to never look upon the lovely freezing dawn. A Dodge Ram, a southern man, never again, never again. Not the one we drove to glory. I was sleeping, broken glass in the grass as your blood caked. The rain made our hands shake, as if only from the cold the place you filled. For you never been without origin, only driving in the dark. And from the hospital, when I let go, the night spoke. Silver eyes in the dark, or just the blue glow. The place you fill, for you never been without origin, only driving in the dark. And from the hospital, when I let go, on the telephone, the drive home felt like my lips took an elbow from a steamboat. Your voice soft and low flooded all that I had kept. Oh, how I wept to be here now, a swollen eyebrow, just a cut on your hand. And when the car flipped, was there a moment, a pinprick, a flash before your eyes? Oh, how I tried to understand the silence, how I tried to understand the violence, felt so serene. Place you fill, now lost in rhyme that I forget to remember most of the time. I can hear the songs we sang. To stay awake were there stars behind the clouds. I am not proud, I am not proud, just young, too young, I guess. Just young, I guess. Still young, I guess. Thank you. This is a tune about a woman named Nellie Stockman who I had the pleasure of getting to hang out with when I lived in Austin, Texas. Nellie Stockman was her name. You can't make up that sort of thing. Skin like a plastic bag. I was the only visitor she had. She stood 4 feet short with eyes that always seem to water. She was old, but she was somebody's daughter. She didn't talk much anymore. They didn't say what for. We'd sit there and hold hands, and I'd sing her old country standards. To know the room you're gonna die in, does it make you free or make you silent? She was old, but you should have seen her smile. Between the breathing machines and beeps, I wondered how she'd ever sleep. The TV never stopped, but I never saw her watch it. She kept a military man beside her bed in a frame. She was old, and there was nobody to blame. Nellie Stockman was her name. You can't make up that sort of thing. She died in her hospice room. I'd long since moved. I just got a letter. It was typed and numbered. Said she was old and her time had come. The day she passed is a day I can remember. The day she passed was just like the day after. Thank you. Really appreciate Louise and Bruce Baker for getting me this gig and hanging out and watching. It is amazing to have people that are still in your corner fighting for you when the world of booking shows took such a left turn. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you, Passim, for having me, for making that connection. I believe the link to my Patreon site just came up. Patreon is a platform that allows you to support artists, artistic endeavors that you believe in. And for a cup of coffee a month, you can go to that link and get access to my monthly new song club that I post just there on Patreon, and also keep me afloat in these times, so I appreciate that. There's a song called Dams Are for Beavers. Well, dams are for beavers, let the wild run free, 'cause I'm a believer in humanity. Well, what did birds do before telephone wires? Did forests exist before we fought their fires? I'm a citizen of sand, I'm a California choir. I was raised on songs and moving water, raised on rocks in the creek. Well, dams are for beavers, you know it, sing along. Let the wild run free, 'cause I'm a believer in humanity. There's a river in Austin that they call a lake, and I swear it moves when I really concentrate. Few people in town can tell which way is downstream. It makes no difference, at least nobody's drowning. Damn, 15 times, but who's really counting? At least we have air conditioning. And oh my God, we live in this world, we can't run away. And oh my God, I've been staring at a screen, I ain't been out all day. And oh my God, take me river, take me down to pray. 'Cause dams are for beavers, let the wild run free, 'cause I'm a believer in humanity. Yeah, dams are for beavers, let the wild run free, 'cause I'm a believer in humanity. Yeah, dams are for beavers, let the wild run free, 'cause I'm a believer in humanity. Yeah, I'm a believer in huge humanity. All right, there you have it. There you have it. We got Scott. Thanks for tuning in at Worthy and tonight. Baker Booking, thank you for mentioning the socks. All you guys for coming out, commenting. The socks, man. I should, because I'm in my bedroom, we might as well go into my sock drawer over there and show you what they're talking about with the socks. Brief commercial break. Here we go. Here you have them, folks. Worn by the salesman himself. I'm a believer in huge humanity socks. Please send me an email, jennerfoxmusic@gmail.com if you'd like a pair that's cleaner than these. They're not, I currently don't have an online store, but I'll be sure to send you one. I think we could use some believing in humanity right now. Ugh. I've worked for many years as a whitewater rafting guide, and I was working down on the Rogue River in Southern Oregon when I got my start, and down there's this mechanic who used to fix all of our trucks. His name was Mike, and He's a good friend now, and one trip we wanted to thank him for keeping our company going and fixing the trucks, and so comped him a free trip, and so we get there, put in, getting ready for this 4-day trip, and this big bear of a man, Mike, walks down and kind of surveys the boats and decides to get on my boat, and way down the front, and oftentimes you'll switch around boats during a trip, but Mike sort of said that he had a bad experience with a river guide before, and so when I didn't do that thing that the other person did to him, he decided to stick with me, and so around day 3 or 4 or so, we got to a jumping rock, and everyone was jumping off the rock and having a blast, and we said, Mike, come on, jump off the rock, dude, do something fun for once, and he's like, no, I'm good, and we kept urging him, come on, Mike, come on, you can do it, it's safe, it's just a small rock, and he's like, fine, okay, I'll jump off the rock, and so he stands up and reaches into his swimsuit pocket and takes out a pistol and hands it to me and says, could you hold this while I jump off the rock, and I said, I've never dealt with the situation before, please could you put it away, I grew up in the Bay Area, not having seen these things very often, and so he did put it away, luckily, and didn't show it to anyone else for the rest of the trip. And anyway, Mike and I became good friends. And anytime my truck had my CRV had issues, I would take it to him. And he told me one time when he was fixing something, he said he was so proud of his son for finally getting out of Southern Oregon and joining the Marines down in 29 Palms, California. And a few years later, I came back and was getting my clutch replaced, and he sort of just talked at me for what felt like a half an hour. This story of how his son ended up coming back, and went home that night and wrote this song down. It's called 29 Palms. I thought I'd join the army, 'cause Dad likes shooting guns. It's hard enough to please a man, damned when you're his son. I sweated every mile in the concrete and the sun. They shaved my head and wrote my name next to a machine gun. I aced the test, they told me I'd stay behind the lines. But there's no such thing as errors when the command decides. They moved me to the barracks in Palm 29. We were taught to shoot to the cadence of die, motherfucker, die. Well, there's only 2 places the Joshua Tree belongs: the gates of heaven and 29 Palms. If you come to find a brother, well, brother, you're insane. Is a man in a turban a man just the same? Blow his ass to hell and don't complain. The wind won't stop whistling, I forgot the sound of rain. I finally went for help, but help can't be sought. They pumped me full of pills and called it suicidal thoughts. 3 months in the ward, they said the paperwork got lost. Son, you're just 18, you don't know what you want. There's only 2 places Joshua tree belongs. The gates of heaven and 29 palms. Now I'm back on the couch in Daddy's old place. I stay up all night gaming and I sleep through the days. He's happy to have me home, he calls it grace. I'm 21 years old and I can't look a man in the face. It's easy to stay bitter when there's somebody to blame, but I enlisted, I signed my own name. Dad still goes out shooting and invites me just the same. There's a man in a room somewhere who thinks it's just a game. The ghost of 29, the Grand Inquisitor. He pours Scotch whiskey for every senator. He says the people don't want freedom, they want bread and sugar. I hope the devil writes your name next to machine gunner. Well, there's only two places the Joshua tree belongs. The gates of heaven and 29 palms. You make me stutter, you make me dumb, you make me lonesome, you're the one. We could do nothing, we could do some, I don't care, you're the one. I swore off loving, swore off dreams, I built a fence, tall as a tree. I swore off puppies, I feared the fleas, but that's all done, you're the one. We love the moon, we curse the sun. You keep me warm, you're the one. I like to change, I like to run. Nothing's for sure, you're the one. I swore off rivers, I swore off weed, I swore off swearing, but I was me. I lay with others, I lay with none. I lay with you. You're the one. All right. Thank you to Abby and Matt for doing this and switching your model so quickly and elegantly. Everyone I told that I've gotten to play with the Passim thing in the, let's see, is it far right or far left corner for you guys? Was like, oh man, that's so cool. I love Passim. So sure hope to see it in real life one day. My name's Jenner Fox. I live in Sisters, Oregon. I'm gonna leave you with this tune. Thanks for spending your evening hanging out with me and bringing your energy and chatting. It means a lot. This is a tune called Lullaby, and it's sort of a goodbye, goodnight song. I was on tour in Cincinnati a few years ago with a band called Odell Fox, and a woman came up to us after the show, and as people do when they don't know you, she wanted to talk about what we had in common, and what her and I had in common was that her dad and I both played the guitar, so we started talking about that, and she told me that her dad was picking up the guitar because he wanted to write his wife a song, and her dad was an older gentleman with Alzheimer's disease, and he wanted to write his wife a song, and so he'd work on the tune every day and get it to a place and put his axe down and go to bed and wake up the next morning and having forgotten everything, start over again. So this song starts there. Thanks again. Hope to see you all soon. Go to sleep knowing there's a man writing verses with a wheel in his hand. He'll get 'em perfect. Stop and forget again. Oh, say goodnight knowing you'll be alright. Come tomorrow I'll be gone, but hell, it's tonight. I hope it rains all day. So long is strange to say. There's time to be nasty, time to hold hands. There's time to go dancing. There's always new bands. There's an ice cream truck. It rains in Los Angeles, but there will never be enough time with me. Oh, go to bed with good weather in your head, 'cause if not today, tomorrow instead, there's time to pretend you're somebody else. Oh, rest assured, the leaves will turn, and there are folks out there who wanna be heard, and though their voices are spare, they have beautiful things to say. There's time to go swimming, time for pools. There's time at a touch. There's a sky for two. There's rules and ruts and ridiculous holidays. There will never, it's never the right time to stay. No, it's never the right time to say. Give in to the ground, knowing you'll let down everyone you love. There'll be times you're not proud of, but ain't it something to be slowly spinning round? Oh, go to sleep knowing there's no place I would rather be than face to face, staring hopelessly and blissfully awake. There's time for loving, time for leaving, there's time for blessing, there's time for sneezing, there's time to waste, but no time to lose. And there will never be enough time with you. Thank you. Have a great evening. Get those ballots in. See you soon.
Yeah, Jenner Fox. Thank you so much for doing the show with us tonight, Jenner. We will. I saw some comments about getting you back in Massachusetts, and we will absolutely have you back when we can. And for the time being, we're gonna keep having you remote because this was really great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. And so if folks would like to donate to tonight's show, they can go to passim.org/stream. We're suggesting a $15 donation, and that is going to be split between Passim and Jenner, so that Jenner can continue to be a professional artist and continue to bring you his songs, but also so that Passim can continue to be a venue and a presenter of artists, and so that we are able to reopen when we're able to reopen. So thank you for your donations. Thank you for your support. Also, be sure to check out Jenner's Patreon. It's a really great way. It's one of my favorite ways to kind of connect with artists and really directly support them. So if you're a fan and you want to see all the new songs that come out as he writes them, things like that, be sure to go to his Patreon. And what was your email in case people want those manatee socks?
Oh, yeah, great question. I should probably send you a pair, Abby, for all this great promo. JennerFoxMusic@gmail. JennerFoxMusic@gmail if you need some huge manatees. Thank you all for tuning in, and tell your friends the show is going to be up for about a week. So if there's someone who missed this but you think that they need to see it, let them know they can come right back here to Passim's Facebook or YouTube, and they can continue to watch and donate for another week or so and continue to support both us and Jenner. Thank you folks so much, and we will see you next time.